Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, everyone. My name is Sivam Velautham. Welcome to our Open Up live talk show weekly podcast. Today we have an amazing guest. So before I introduce to you, I want to share a couple of things, and then I will bring him. As I said, my name is Sivam Velautham. I am the founder and the president at Velautham 360. Velautham 360 is a non-profit organization founded in 2020 and is based in London, Ontario, Canada. Velautham 360 was born out of seeing a tremendous need and stepping up to provide services to help support and overcome men and boys' life challenges. We are part of International Men's Day. International Men's Day has been serving for over 21 years, and so far, 90 countries around the world joined together and doing various activities regularly. IMD follows 6 pillars, which is the overall well-being of boys and men. We follow in the same footsteps. Why open up? Because men, we do not open our hearts and are willing to share our matters with anyone. When we keep our emotional challenges within ourselves for a longer time, at some point they will explode and it will affect our health conditions in many ways. That is why we want to create an open space and allow an individual to share their life journey through our platform. We aim to create awareness about the life challenges, struggles, overcome, ups and downs, and that our boys and men go through in their life. There are no limitations with the gender, age, nationality, or ethnic groups in sharing your life journey. All walks of life can participate. Our goal is to make a positive impact on someone's life through this program. Open Up is on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We bring an individual to each show and let them share their life experiences with you. Before I introduce our special guest for today, I would like to go through our disclaimer. We would like to remind you that Voice 360 mission is always delivered with good faith toward peaceful harmony. The views and opinions expressed in today's episode are those of our speakers and do not represent Voice 360. Our organization engages in discussion forums to offer inspiration and create awareness of the issues of men who wish to overcome their life challenges. We are not providing medical or therapeutic advice. Should you require that type of assistance, we recommend you contact a medical professional immediately. If you have questions or concerns about today's episode or any Voice 360 content, please email us at info@voiceomen360.org. Like I said before, today we have an amazing guest. His name is Aaron Marcus, actor, model, coach, and author, joining from USA. Welcome, Aaron.
Thank you so much. It is great to be here.
Thank you for joining. It's great to have you. People like yourself from special industries, especially in the entertainment industry, we want to bring and then have a discussion with you guys. So again, welcome. And I want to take you somewhere maybe in early years. How did you get to start, or what was the influence? Where did you start your life journey, especially on the acting career?
Sure. So I have an unusual journey, and I'm sure, everybody has their own story. There are some people, and by the way, everything that I'm going to say, yes, it is going to be related to, acting here, but a lot of the information that I'm giving is really very universal. So I actually was a musician for 7 years. And I worked with my brother. We were songwriters. I was a guitarist, and we did mostly college concerts. And in the beginning of our 7th year together, my brother decided that he didn't like performing and he didn't like traveling, which are not good things for musicians. And so he gave me a year's notice to figure out what I wanted to do. And I volunteered, I tried out different things, I explored things, and I decided I wanted to be a physical therapist. So I went back to school again and I took all the classes that I avoided all my life, all the sciences, and I needed a job to support myself while I was in school. And I just happened to meet an actor one day, and he did mostly TV commercials, and he told me what he did and what it involved. And I thought, well, that sounds like fun. And it seemed like a great part time job to help support myself while I was in college. So I started doing that without any intention of being, a regular actor and really pursuing it. It was just a side hustle job for me. And because I never really did any acting before in my life. And make a long story very short, um, I was really enjoying it. And I found that it was giving me a lot of joy. And right before I got married, I told my fiance at the time, I want to try acting for a year just to see what it's like full time. And that's turned into 39 years. So it wasn't a planned thing. It wasn't something that I always wanted as a kid. It was, I wouldn't say a fluke, but it was just something that I kind of walked into and found that I loved it and decided to pursue it full time.
Absolutely. It is great to see. However, it doesn't matter which way we go, but at the end, you are happy and you are making a lot of changes, or growing yourself and things like that. It's really good to see. Talking about old days, and then let's go back a little bit. This platform, speaking about men's and things like that. So I want to have just a quick discussion about, if you can share your memories with your father and son relationship, the things that you learned or, influenced from him, inspired, or, those moments. Can you share a couple of things about your father?
Yeah, absolutely. So my father had a small clothing store, and I used to work down there. Didn't want to, but I had to, and so I was at the store a lot, like during the summers and weekends when I was a kid. And I'll tell you what I learned from him, and these are life learning experiences that I still use today. And once again, these are universal truths. It's not just from a clothing store perspective, but I watched, he didn't tell me, but I used to watch him interact with his customers. And he was always very honest with them. He was always very respectful of people. And something else that I learned was that he was always looking at the bigger picture. It wasn't just how do you make the biggest sale right now? It was more about building relationships. And that's what he did. And it was a wholesale clothing store. So he wasn't selling to just people off the street. These were people who would come in and then sell to stores or sell to individuals. But learning how to develop relationships was invaluable to me. And I still use that on a daily basis. And that's why I always tell people who are interested in entering the industry, being honest is such a crucial part of the industry. Yes, the acting world is very big. In some ways, it's very small. And if you do have an agent and you're not honest with the agent and you do things behind the agent's back, like maybe you find a job on your own and you have an exclusive contract with your agent, meaning that you've got to send every job through the agent. And yeah, so maybe you saved yourself a 20% commission fee. Here's a perfect example. So I get residual checks all the time from previous jobs that I've done, movies and TV shows. Now, the agents don't know about the checks that I get. I always send them a 10% commission fee because that's what I'm supposed to pay them as a union actor. And I just feel like that's That's what you're supposed to do. Could I save 10% by not sending it? Sure. Would they ever know? Nah, they probably would never find out. But it's just not how I run my business. So those are some really important things. And I'll tell you the other thing also that I learned from him that I use in my life and in the acting world is to take chances, ask for things. The worst thing that can happen is people say no. And that's okay. Hey, look, as an actor, almost every time I audition for something, they say no to me. So I'm pretty used to people saying no to me. And so I just think it's really important to ask. The other part of your question was, dealing with my son. So I was actually able to get my son a commercial job, a modeling job with me. And because I got hired, they needed a kid in the shot, and my daughter hadn't been born yet. So I asked, if my son, and he had a good time doing it. Here's something that I decided to do from a very early age with both my kids, but especially with my son, is I listened to what they wanted in this world. I listened and I watched and I saw what turned them on, what was fun for them, what interested them. And if they had any interest at all, if my son had any interest at all in acting or commercial modeling, I would have done everything that I could to help them along. Now, I also wanted to make sure that I never pushed. And I never tried to guide my son in any direction whatsoever. I let him know that I was there. If he needed help with anything, I would do everything I could for him. But I wanted him to make his own decision as to what he wanted to do as an adult. And as it turned out, it worked out really well. He has nothing to do with the acting industry or the modeling industry. He's a business consultant and really loves what he's doing. And it's very, very far away from it. But the crazy thing is, he uses a lot of the same skills that my father taught me and that I taught him.
So I can see that the correlation and things that you actually learn from him. It's still it doesn't matter which way. Either it's directly or indirectly. A lot of them, it's come automatically. Without any kind of like a direction, right? So it's good to have some of them when we think about reflecting those moments, right? Where did you get to
I think you might have just frozen up on me. Sorry, so I didn't hear your last question. Your screen froze on me. So I guess you're going to have to repeat that one. Well, you know what? While you're handling things on your end, there was just something else that I thought of. If I'm still alive here, which I hope I am, something else that I learned, and that is also being fair to other people. And this is something that I incorporate in what I do in my business. Sometimes if there is a commercial modeling job, so for me, if it's an acting job, it has to be a union job, and there are minimum rates that we have to be paid. This is what the union has negotiated. For commercial modeling, and for those of you who might not be familiar with commercial modeling, it has nothing to do with the fashion world. Commercial modeling ads are the people that you see in magazine ads, non-fashion magazine ads, could be newspapers, brochures, billboards, posters on sides of buses, on the internet. Sometimes the people are, beautiful, handsome, perfect bodies, and sometimes they look like me, just like regular looking people. And one of the things that I still incorporate from what I learned from my dad was I'm not thinking about the money when I do a job. Yes, of course, I want to be paid. I don't want to lose money on a job and travel a far distance and not make anything, um, or lose money. But when I first started in the industry, I actually did some jobs where I wasn't paid anything or made almost nothing on the job. And that was really from learning from my dad, because once again, I was looking down the road and I was thinking, yeah, I'm not going to make anything for this particular job. However, I'm going to get, hopefully, a great tear sheet from the booking. Tear sheet is a copy of the ad. That ad might be invaluable to me. It might be something that helps get me a lot more bookings in the future. I'm also thinking this is a great connection with a photographer who I might not have ever met. This might also be a great connection with an art and creative director at an advertising agency. And sometimes they are the ones who will choose the actor for the TV spot or the radio spot or the commercial modeling job. Not always, or sometimes they just might have a lot of influence over which actor or model gets hired. So the money part of it really wasn't important to me. What was important was doing the work. And that was just another lesson. And that's why even sometimes, when people have come to me and they will ask me questions about the industry, yes, I do have private mentoring, coaching sessions. These are all virtual sessions. I have different programs that I offer. But, if people have questions, about the industry and they just want to shoot me a question quickly, I always get back in touch with people and try to help them, because I know what it's like to get started and I know how difficult it can be. And people don't know anything about the industry. And why should they? It's like any other kind of business. If you've never done anything in it, it makes it really difficult to know what to do to get started and not to be taken advantage of and not to go in the wrong direction. Because when I first started, I didn't know anything about the industry. I didn't have any connections except for this one actor who I met, but I wasn't really close friends with him. He just told me a little bit about what he did. And so I had to learn everything on my own. And so, if somebody comes to me and they really need some help, I'm always there to try to give them some guidance and to send them in the right direction.
Thank you, and I had some kind of a crash right away.
That's okay. That's okay. I filled in.
Thank you. So I want to take you back, slightly change the topics. Since we see there's a ratio, suicide ratio around the world is 78% or 80% is men. So, can you share your perspective and learning experience and why actors have to go through or face challenging life situations, even committing suicide or the suicide?
Yeah.
Uh, you
Yeah.
know,
And I tell you, it's a great question. It's a very important question. It's a complicated question. And there is no one right or easy answer. But here's something that I truly believe. And look, this can happen to anybody, but certainly it does happen to men. Um, in our business, in the acting business, it is, and this happens, to boys as well. It's very easy to take things personally. This is different. The acting business is different than other kinds of jobs in the sense of, if you are a salesperson, you're a real estate agent, and you are showing somebody a house that you're trying to sell. They look at it and they say, for whatever reason, they're not interested. And then they leave. Okay. Well, you don't take it personally. You understand, for whatever reason, maybe that there weren't enough bedrooms, maybe there wasn't a large enough backyard, maybe it needed too much updating. There, 10 million reasons why somebody doesn't want to purchase a house. For us, I go to an audition and I don't book the job. What they're saying is, I don't want you. That's very different. And this took me a lot of years to really understand this and to get to a place where I didn't take rejection personally. And that is something that many people, they don't get to that state of mind. And they're always thinking, this agent didn't offer me a contract after our meeting. They don't like me. I didn't get an audition with this casting director. They don't think I'm any good. I didn't book the job. They think I have no talent. And then what starts happening is it starts to build up. And you talked about this earlier, and you were 100% correct. It starts to build. And all of a sudden you start thinking, I'm not a good person. I have no talent. People don't like me. And that can be a very difficult place for people to get to. And when you mention boys, this also can really have a major impact on young people who have tremendous success early in their life. And they start basing, and this is for adults as well, but especially for younger kids who just don't have the experiences of life. And they start thinking that people love them, they thrive on the attention, and they start making this connection of their self-worth to how many people are loving them. And the more people say, you're great, I want to do selfies with you, will you give me autographs, I want to shake your hand, they start feeling great about themselves. They allow other people to influence how you feel. And that is very dangerous, because at some point in your life, I don't care how great of an actor you are. And yes, there are a few exceptions to the rule, but most kids, most young boys who have tremendous success at a young age, that success, that stardom, that attention starts to fade. And if your only reason for thinking that you are good, that you are happy, is because people are loving you, you're going to run into some serious issues later in life. And yes, to answer your question, that is one, and I'm sure there are plenty of other reasons, but that is one major component to why people start to implode, why people start acting out, why people start doing unhealthy things in their life, because they're only basing their self-worth on other people, on other people's reaction to them. And all of a sudden, they're not as popular. Oh yeah, weren't you in a television show 10 years ago? All of a sudden, all that attention is gone. And if you don't fully understand that You have to feel good about yourself, regardless of other people. You know that you can't let other people's reactions to you dictate how you feel about yourself. And always remember that, having success, not having success, if you're a good person, you're still a good person. You are. And how other people view you, it doesn't matter. So you've got to learn how to take really good care of yourself and not base anything on other people's reactions to you.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, of course, we see the glamorous and a lot of other things outside. We see only the success, or is famous, things like that. But inside is basically a human is a human, right? So it can affect anybody. So it doesn't matter, or we don't know which or when, right? So it's really hard. Even really successful people, when they commit or when they go through some kind of major events, it's very hard to accept it, right? We don't understand. Oh, you know what? This person has everything on the outside, but inside, I don't know, some kind of emptiness or some kind of feelings that they don't have anything inside though. It's empty.
And what's really interesting, and because you brought this up, I remember speaking with a producer of a TV show. I was working on a show, and we were just talking about not specific actors, but just actors in general. And what he said, I thought this was fascinating. He said the stars of the show, they're easy to work with. The people who are just getting started and they have small roles on the show, they're easy to work with. It's the people in the middle who are really tough. They're the ones who've had success, but they haven't reached the level of success that they expect or the level that they feel like they deserve. They are the ones who sometimes get written out of the show. Their character dies because they're such a pain to deal with, because they're angry. They're bitter at the world for not having risen to where they feel like they deserve. And they're not able to really appreciate the success that they've had. So I thought that what you said just kind of reminded me of that. And I thought that was interesting.
Absolutely, yeah. And also sometimes it's very hard. Remember when you said even the young people, they suddenly see the success and then they don't know how to handle it. It's a really very short time. They become a success or become famous, and then it's very hard to handle how to things around them or within themselves, right? So it's there are a lot of situations or um,
And sorry for interrupting. I was just going to jump in because something that I talk to people about in my workshops, and I think this is so important. As you are traveling through the industry, and if you're fortunate enough to have some kind of success, I think it is crucial that you continue to surround yourself with people who you trust, people who you love, people who have your best interest at heart. Not all the people who are the yes people, who are always telling you how great you are and think it's funny when you start doing crazy things in this world, but the ones who love you enough to say cut it out, to say you need help, to say you are heading down a really bad path, people who aren't afraid of getting fired by you. And it's easy just to surround yourself with yes people and people who just, oh yeah, I love it. They're on your payroll. So they're going to say anything to stay there. And that's why it's really important to stay humble, appreciate what you have, but continue to surround yourself with people who you trust.
of course, the close circle or social circle, the trustable circle, right? You should have at least two, three people, very, very close one. Anytime you can go to them, right? For anything, right? So it's always it's um, it's trusting one, and also it's reliable, and anything you can share with them or talk to them, at least, even though if you won't get a solution for your problem, but at least just sharing them, at least some kind of mental relief, or so some kind of balancing yourself, right? It's very much. So on the same note, do you feel that the movie industry has done enough work on creating awareness about men's voice issues? If not, what's need to be done? What do you think?
Yeah, well, I can tell you that at least in the States, I don't know how it works in Canada and other places throughout the world, but I can tell you that the union, SAG-AFTRA, they have some really great laws that have to be followed very carefully when working with minors. And it's everything from, you have to have a parent on set or a guardian on set to make sure that you are okay. They might be sitting on the set or in another room behind monitors, but they're able to watch you all the time. They also, they have to hire an on-set tutor. And now this is somebody who will get the information from your school system, and you are only allowed to work a certain amount of hours a day. And depending on your age, the older you are, the more hours that you can work. And when it's time for a break to happen so that you can have your education studies take place, that tutor is also the liaison between the young person and production. And they will actually say, hey, look, you only have another 30 minutes to work with this person until we have to take a break. So there are a limited amount of hours that people can work. And you also have to supply them with tutoring throughout, for different parts of the day. And those rules are enforced very stringently. And before that, young kids were abused. It was horrible. And so this is, I think, it's a really, really smart, important, and essential thing, because these are the kinds of things that can keep young kids, young boys healthy, and keep them growing mentally, and to keep them educated, and not just be a young adult when they're still a kid, because they need their education. Because once again, after this project is done, they're back in school again.
Absolutely. The reason why I was asking the question, though, because time to time we hear, but we don't really hear a lot of things. Only when we come across any kind of news or anything, anybody says, okay, this has happened. But mostly it doesn't. We don't see or we don't hear that many issues, or any news. Okay, what, sexual abuse or bullying or any kind of situations from the entertainment industry, right? So that's why I want to have a discussion about that.
Yeah, and something else about that, and you just brought this up. There's another law. It has nothing to do with education, but it's for minors. It's called the Coogan Law. And there was an actor named Jackie Coogan. And if anybody, he was on The Little Rascals. He was also in, I just forgot the name of the TV show. It doesn't matter. Anyhow, this happened all the time, where here was this young kid who made a fortune, and his parents actually took the money. They decided that it was their kid, and they wanted to get his income, and they spent it, and this kid lost everything. So there is something called the Coogan Law. And I can't remember the exact numbers right now, but there is a certain percentage of money. Now, look, parents they are allowed to take some money if they are working as a manager, or if they have expenses for the child, if they have to travel, if they have to get, trainers, tutors, coaches and things like that. But there is a certain percentage of any money that a minor, that a young kid makes, that has to go in an escrow account that the parents cannot. Oh, the Adams Family. That's what he was. He was the bald guy, Uncle Fester. I'm pretty sure that that was the actor. It has to be set aside that the parents cannot touch, and when the young child is no longer a minor, will have access to it. They can't touch it until they're no longer a minor. But that is, like you were saying, there have been a lot of abuses for a lot of those young kids, and fortunately, things have gotten better.
It's good to hear. Of course, we will share more details or the links if we can get. But quickly, I just want to have a quick commercial break. I just want to have a few announcements and then come back to you. I have few more questions, Aaron. So stay with me. So far, we are discussing. Aaron Marcus is sharing his personal life journey with us. The announcements I have is we do have open up the one you are watching is on Sundays at 7 p.m. Eastern time, and then there's a Tamil live talk show on Sundays at 8 a.m. Eastern time, and then monthly men's group meeting only for men by men, second Saturday of every month from 7 to 8:30 p.m. through Zoom, no recordings. Please join through Zoom. The link is available on our Facebook group and page. There are no limitations to gender, age, nationality, or ethnic groups. All walks of life can participate in any of our shows. If you want to be a guest on any of our shows or willing to be part of our organization and help us directly or indirectly, please reach out to us. We would like to work with individuals, professionals, experts, community organizations, associations, corporations, government officials, and businesses. Phone number is 226-289-8784. Email address info@voiceomen360.org. Website www.voiceomen360.org. And then you can find us on all social media, Facebook group and page. Join our group so you can see our daily activities. Please invite your friends as well. Voiceomen 360. Other social media platforms are Instagram, LinkedIn, Twitter, YouTube, TikTok. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, Voiceomen 360. We have done over 500 episodes on various topics, so you can go and watch. And at the same time, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. This way you can support us too. And also coming back to Aaron. So I want to ask you one more question. So of course, you are an author. So can you talk about what was the inspiration or why do you want to write a book, and then how you can reach out to you, and then coaching business, the one you are helping actors, the one entering to the acting industry. So yeah, please go ahead. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. So, so this is the second book that I wrote. The first book was How to Become a Successful Commercial Model. It went through 6 editions. And then I decided I wanted to broaden it and how to become a successful actor and model. And I tell you what the inspiration was for this, or at least for the first book. And it kind of goes back to something that we had talked about at the very, very beginning of this conversation. I was getting a lot of questions from fellow actors and models or people who wanted to get started in the industry. And I did my best at trying to answer questions for people. But what I found was I didn't have the time to sit and spend hours trying to share everything that I wanted to. And so what I decided to do was I wanted to write a book. So that way and it doesn't replace private sessions and private coaching sessions, but it gives people an opportunity to really learn about acting and modeling. So how to become a successful actor or model, you can find it either on my website, howtoactandmodel.com. If you're outside the States, it's easier probably to go to Amazon and you can find it. And essentially, it's a cookbook for the industry. It's a step-by-step process of getting started, how to find agents, how to put together the right materials like headshots, commercial photos, how to market yourself, get work on your own, deal with contracts, learn how to shoot home auditions, which is essential for any actor today. I have not been in a casting director's office auditioning for a project in over 4 years. Um, they're all home auditions or self-tape auditions. And so you need to learn what kind of equipment do you need, where your eye line needs to be, what kind of lighting, what kind of sound, microphone, how to practice. And all of this is in the book. And so it just walks, like I said, it just walks you through the process of either breaking in or advancing your career in the industry. And yeah, you can see all the reviews on Amazon. And like I said, you can also order it and get a couple of free bonuses, a couple of directories if you go to my website, howtoactandmodel.com. And you had mentioned something about my tutor or coaching programs. You can also learn about that on my website. It's howtoactandmodel.com/mentoring program, but you'll find it there. And yeah, I save 5 days every month and I help people through various programs. We'll do whatever, I'll teach you whatever you're interested in learning. And if you're not sure, then I will develop a plan for you and really give you the right information, things that I continue to use on a daily basis in my 39 years as a full-time actor. And it's really helpful. And something else that you definitely want to do if you have an interest in acting or modeling, and this is free, it's my acting and modeling quick tips channel. It's my YouTube channel. It's kind of a long link. So once again, just go to howtoactandmodel.com. In the upper right-hand corner, you'll see the YouTube icon, and you want to go there. There are over 400 free quick tip videos. I try to upload one every Tuesday, and you want to subscribe, click the notification bell so you always know when I upload a new video. And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and share the link with your fellow actors so we can continue to build a free place where actors are helping each other by sharing information with each other, and we will learn from each other as well.
Absolutely. So while I'm speaking, or while you are speaking, actually, I already put those links so people can see it and then they can check it out. And especially those social media links and everything is on our Facebook page, group. So I'm actually posting all the links. You can go and then take a look at it, and then even the one he said, the YouTube channel and everything. You can see it. One thing, quick question, Aaron, I want to ask you. Of course, the 39 years or old, or even 40 years or more than that, the experience you had. Every time you had to take a different character or acting things. How do you manage, or how do you balance it within, because once you are on the set, you are the one actually acting, nobody else. So you had to go through all the mental challenging or emotional challenging and everything, and then you had to come back from out of that character, and then next to move to the other one. It's very see, other jobs we just go and then we work and then come back. This one is totally different. So maybe that's one of the reasons it's people having a hard time to manage the balance, right? So how do you handle those situations, managing?
Yeah, that's a great question. The short version is, all the characters that I've done, I always find something in my life, if I can, but I try to find something in my life to connect me with the character. So I don't just become this foreign person that I know nothing about. And I think of real people in my life when I'm having conversations, when my character is talking to another character, I'm always thinking about people in my life where it would make sense. And I can tell you, and I always like to give real examples. So there was it was a Netflix show, and it was the first streaming television show, and it was called House of Cards. And I had a recurring role on the show, and my job was to be the caretaker for Ellen Burstyn. She's an Academy Award-winning actor, and she played the president's wife's mother. So I was her caretaker, butler, did things for her, and I needed to be able to feel love for her because sometimes I kind of had to battle a little bit on her behalf. And so what I did was, and this is really helpful for other people who are interested in trying to delve into different types of characters, I had to find things about her life that I really cared about. And so I made sure that I spend time talking to her. We had meals together. I asked her a lot of questions about her life. And so this wasn't just this foreign character, foreign person. I understood who she was. I had great admiration for her, and I felt this connection with her, and that's why it shows up in the screen. So whenever you are working on a character, try to find things in your own life about yourself that you can connect, even if it's a horrible kind of character, you got to find some kind of love in there for that person. And that's one of the ways that you help make things real.
Absolutely, that's a really awesome tips, and also the technique too, because a lot of times, months and years, sometimes you had to play one character for many times, or for such a long time, and then it's very hard to come out from the character. And you know, in between that, I heard a lot of people, or some people, they act at once they get into the character, they just be a character even at the home, anywhere.
Yeah,
So
and you know what, and that's method acting where you become. That's not, and I'm not saying anything negative. But look, there are some phenomenal actors that do that. Everybody does their own thing.
yeah,
That's not a way that I do it. In the moment, in the scene, yeah, I'm there, and once I walk away and I go back to a trailer and change my clothes and then catch a shuttle back to my car or the hotel, I'm not in that place anymore. But yeah, there are some actors who you have to call them by their character name all the time because that's who they are. And however you want to do it, it's great, as long as it works. That's what's important. And so, for everybody, you have to find what works for you.
exactly. So, like I said earlier, it's good to have people like yourself, Aaron, because we need to hear more. We want to have discussion from different industry about boys men's issues. Whenever you guys come and speak about it, just openly have a discussion about that. It's good to have a different perspective, and also learning from you guys too. People can understand, people can relate to that situations too. So thank you for joining today. I know we discussed a lot of things, and at the same time, it's almost 1 hour. So I'm really sorry. There's technical difficulties between that, but yeah, it's a great to have you. We really want to bring you back sometimes in the future. We want to hear more, but yeah. Let's wrap it up, and then
Sure.
let's say goodbye. Thank you, Aaron, for
You're
joining.
very welcome, and best of luck. And I'm so glad that you're doing so many things that are helping other people. So thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
So, like I said earlier, Aaron Marcus actually joined today with us to share his life journey. He's an actor, model, and of course, career coach, model coach. And please go to his website and other social media links to learn about him, or if you want to actually get more information or ask any questions, please reach out to him. And please subscribe to our YouTube channel. See you next time. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. Thank you.